Take me home, I wanna know if you're down, ready to go. Wanna fly away with you, float away, fly away.
And where did you read that?
I listened to it. Damn it. It was someone in the field of psychology. I forgot I listened to a lot.
Yeah.
Have we started?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So I'll reiterate this statement. It's you can never be a man until your father's still alive, or something.
Until your father passes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's debated about the literalness or metaphoricalness of that statement.
Yeah.
But I like it because there is a relationship between you and your parents at the very least. The transition from boy to man. I had this statement that I always said to myself. It was, what was it? The closer you reach God, the more you see how flawed he is. And when I thought that, it was because anytime I looked up to someone and then I became closer to them in some area, whether it be like their character or their stature or their social status, I realized that they were just a man, or man and woman. And it was disappointing, but it was also, it was disappointing. So I crafted, because you kind of want certain idols in your life to be more than life itself. You want them to represent more than what it means to be human in some sense. Yeah. So for example, like people who you look up to in terms of character, to be human is to have flaws. And it's not, you can never expect a human being to not have flaws. I don't know. You can, I guess we do it with all kinds of people in our lives, even with like romantic partners. You idealize them. You don't look at them as an individual. You look at them as this thing that you craft. And then when they don't match up to that, you feel like it's a betrayal.
There's also a lot of other variations to that though.
Very much so.
So, how we got into that was literally because we were talking about introspective.
Yeah. We were on some deep levels
on some
before
deep
this
shit.
podcast.
Yeah. So, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jacob Rhodes. This is the Roadshow. In front of me, I have Malik. How are you, my bro?
I'm doing lovely.
Oh, I know you are. We've got a 2018 McRae. This was a Jim Barry Shiraz. Beautiful tone, no harshness. Oh man, I'm telling you.
One of the best wines I've had.
Literally. Like I had this at the rock pool at Crown last night for my 30th.
Is there any other place better to have it?
I don't know.
There is, Jacob, and it's called On Your Couch, doing a podcast. Right?
Yeah, well, that's the funny thing is the podcast yesterday. I was doing one here and then I got picked up from the podcast. Literally, the podcast ended.
Yeah.
I said, thank you, man. I don't want to let go of any of this because I might not put that podcast out just yet. But I think I have. I think I have at this point if we're talking about releases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah, so I get picked up in a limo and then, straight to the Crown Towers. It was such a fantastic time, man.
Yeah.
For a 30th, that's how I wanted to send off my 20s, man. I really, really, I hit the nail on the head. Yeah.
Yeah. How crazy are those days that like, the days where everything goes wrong? You have the opposite of those days. Those are days where it's just like, it almost seems surreal or like dreamlike. Or like the one good thing happens after the next.
Yes.
Those days, like, I don't know. They get you through it sometimes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
If you have a good memory, you can live in those moments whenever you're down.
Yeah.
And just like go back on them and like go through them and feel it again. And then, I remember her. Maybe I'll give her a message.
Yeah,
See you
true.
Friday.
But you can also have the dark side to that, where that's how a lot of people think about, bad things in their lives. They ruminate too much.
Yeah, living in the past a little bit too much. Yeah, that's a fucking that you get it stuck in a black hole there.
Yeah,
man.
so you kind of got to cherry pick. You kind of got to think only about the good things, and then any bad memories, you just go.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna think about it.
Yeah,
That recently in my life is something I've learned, and it's like, it sounds corny, but literally controlling your mind. Like when you're younger, you don't know that you can actually say no to your mind. Like, no, don't think about that. Like you're almost an own authority in your head, and that was nuts for me, because now I kind of do it all the time, and like I discipline my mind. Not engaging in, I think that's like what they call in the area of cognitive behavioral therapy is that just that,
it's mindful discipline. Well, that like literally have discipline is freedom tattooed on my wrist.
There we go. Jocko Willink?
No, well, his is discipline equals freedom.
Got you.
I think the actual struggle comes, like the freedom comes from the struggle when you're in that moment of struggle.
Yeah.
Or in that moment of like complete non-struggle when you're just trying to focus and be in breath, or it comes in many forms, freedom.
Yeah.
And it's liberating.
Yeah. And discipline is chastity. It's
say that again.
Discipline is chastity, right?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. And it's like you're restricting yourself in life to live a free life, which is a paradoxical thing. I've been thinking about it a lot recently, that exact thing.
Wait, explain that in layman's terms, because that would obviously go over a lot of people's heads.
I got a good one for you. You play a video game, right?
Go.
You have a video game, and let's say it's Grand Theft Auto or it's Skyrim or something, where you're a knight and you have to slay dragons, you have to slay the big bad dragon at the end and so on. You have the little side quests and all this, right? There are mechanics within the game. There's things that you can do, things that you can't do. Without the boundaries of the game, which create the difficulty, which create what you can and can't do, where you can and can't go, you do not have a game. And the gaming community, I guess, realized this when cheat codes became a big thing. They realized, it's like, oh my God, you can do anything. You can instantly get money or, have infinite life. And it was very entertaining for a short period of time until they realized that once you do that, you destroy the game, right?
Yeah,
it's the same it's the same with life. It's like, okay, cool, you can eat what you want, do this or that, be free as a bird, but you're actually limiting yourself by you're not playing the, so to speak, game of life.
Is that why like celebrities and people that make so much fucking money, they always, like a lot of them go fucking crazy?
Yeah.
Like they go off the fucking rails, man. Like
too much freedom.
Too much freedom.
Yeah, and it's not really the freedom, it's the freedom with the inability to mediate it or control it.
Well, yeah, it's mediation, but it's also the progression of it as well. Because a lot of people think it's just like a one, like plain thing.
Yeah.
But no, you can go deeper into your deepness.
Sure.
That's like because you don't know what you don't know. And a lot of people.
That's it, right? It's like people think that, if I was a billionaire or if I was like the president and I would do this, it's like you're making that statement from not having that power. Once you have it, it's a different game.
Exactly.
Right.
And all those kids that are born from billionaires, I feel so bad for those motherfuckers.
Man, I want to do them a service and kidnap them.
Yeah.
Just throw them into the savannah or something.
Literally. Well, there's that Jeff Bezos, his wife gave when she divorced him, she made like $76 billion or something.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And yeah, she became like the world's richest woman in Forbes, obviously.
Yeah.
And like then she became the world's biggest philanthropist. And she's just given away billions and billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And I think that a woman like that would probably have good values towards her children, what you would hope. But obviously, from the father's side of things, he wants to go to Mars and shit too. So like, fuck knows, man. They probably are fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something you don't think about. Like, I remember I was like probably middle class as a kid, right? And you always look at the rich kids with envy. But like, I learned later on that there's nothing to be envious of the rich kids. Yeah. There's a lot that they lack. I don't want to speak in general terms, but like I had friends, very close friends, who were very rich, very spoiled, got what they want. And they follow the same pattern of behavior. Let's just say that. I don't want to judge too much.
Man.
I know some rich kids who are amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, yeah.
But like, would you want that for your kids? Like,
No. You know, Jackie, I think it was Jackie Chan. He said his kids don't get any of his money, I think until he dies or something like that. I don't know. He has that philosophy with his kids. I personally, back to the video game thing, right? I think that life is not about having no opportunities, and it's not about having the most opportunities in the world. It's about having the right amount to live a fulfilling human experience, right? So I think of this, I don't want to go off too much on a tangent.
go.
Okay.
Do it.
I was thinking about this about virtual reality recently, right? And I was thinking, is this territory which we should be going into? Because
You mean as a collective?
Yeah, I mean in terms of human progress.
Okay.
Humanity are reaching a point where we can go areas where we have to ask whether we should or shouldn't. And
AI, all those.
yeah,
Yes,
and
okay.
like when we have virtual reality, we have to have serious conversations about whether or not it's worth being in this one as opposed to that one, right? And where I'm going with this is that
You mean worlds, right?
yeah, worlds, and it's like, okay, what we got to ask seriously as a civilization, right? If you could put a headset on and have anything you ever wanted, do you or do you not? If it meant you lock yourself away from this world and spend the rest of your life in that one, we need real reasons as to why people should be in this one as opposed to that one. And where I'm going with virtual reality is that there isn't. Even though we might have a better experience as an alive thing by being in a virtual reality, it is not the best thing for humanity. It's not the best thing for ourselves. And I think that, say, for example, as being a rich kid or a poor kid or a kid in a middle income family, I don't think pleasure or living a, easier life is the way forward. Look at obesity and so on, and having all this food at our fingertips. We reach a point where we have to go, okay, we've got the food and it's amazing. Now we actually have to start saying no to it, right? Because human beings cannot eat forever. So we have to reach a point where we have to go, okay, we have to limit our gifts. And it's the same thing with like the raising of kids. It's like, okay, if you could give a kid everything, is that necessarily going to be the best thing for it? And I don't think it is. I think human beings should roll more into what it means to be human than to transcend humanity.
So finding nature,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
being more biological rather than trying to enforce the next generation of what we think biological could
we have to. That's it,
I guess.
Yeah, like Facebook, for example.
Correct,
it's like
correct,
Facebook
is trying to become the metaverse, right?
Yeah, and it's creating a social network, right? It is a social network, but it's feeding us being connected with people all over the planet, but it's taking us away from our communities, right? The people around us. Now, this is a big issue because I looked into this a while ago, and I'm not sure the source it was, so I'm going to speak about this with a grain of salt, but I know that there's this thing called, is a number, I forgot that, it could be Dunbars or something else. But this number is the amount of people who fit in your head, and there's a limit to it.
42.
I heard it was something in the area of 200.
No, Dunbar's number is 42.
Okay, either way, there's a set number.
It's either 42 or 47. Mm-hmm. Don't call me on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I read this a while ago.
Actually, I've got fucking YouTube or Google right here. Let's
I
go.
believe it's some in the area of 150 to 200, but it could be 42.
I'm fucking Jamie in this bitch.
You are, Jamie.
Call me Jacob. That's it. Yeah. I normally have Jay here, who literally is
the Google person.
Is the Google guy. And he'll be like on more this week too. So
wicked.
Yeah, cool. Anyway, continue, sir.
So we have this number of people who fit, in our minds that we can, think of.
You're right. You're right. Dunbar's number is 150.
Yeah, 150, yeah. But the issue is that was designed for people in our small communities if you believe in evolution.
I wonder what the fuck I was thinking of then. I have no idea. Anyway.
42, did you say?
Yeah, 42. Oh, hey, yes. No,
42 pops up everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, where I'm getting with this is that if we have Facebook and social media, it turns out that our brains think of Jake Paul or whatever YouTube we watch, right? They fit within that number. Our brain thinks that they're someone that we know. And so now we have these supermodels and superstars, Kanye West and all of that, fitting within our frame of reference for who's in our community, which can make us feel small and this and that. And it also makes us feel isolated. So in my opinion, from what I've looked at as well, human beings tend to flourish when they have a strong community around them. They find that people live longer, get less cancer when they're not lonely, when they have people to support on. But social media is drawing us away from that. So we have progress.
And then hospitals are getting nicer too. You notice that?
Yeah. Oh man, medicine's
Isn't it weird how Facebook and medicine is coming up at the same time?
Yeah.
And pharmaceuticals doing really well too.
Yeah. Imagine they extend human life indefinitely, and then we just till the end of time we just have headsets on.
Yeah, and just popping pills. Yeah. Pharmaceutical comes out with calorie pills.
Yeah.
So here's your protein pills.
Yeah. But this is the thing, like we could get, especially with medical science, we could hit a point where we just transcend what it means to be human. Don't need to eat food. Don't need to do this. You just go into like the Matrix, right?
Some people are already doing that with like straight up supplementation. You know, like just using supplements for everything, and or just using like a carnivore diet, and then for everything else like vitamin C, vitamin D is literally supplemented everything. It's like, whoa, like, can you sustain that? I don't know, because is there other things like subatomically inside of food that like reacts to the body? Obviously there is.
Yeah. Yes, there definitely is, like bioavailability.
Yeah, well, bioavailability for things like natural alkalinities from like greens and stuff like that. Natural vitamin Ks, vitamin Bs. You can't get vitamin B12 from something like...
Yeah, vitamin B12 is nuts. About like how...
It comes from meat?
Yeah, but the thing is that we didn't even... Like, I saw this big vegan meat eater debate, and it's like... But where it comes from meat, because the cows and all that get it from plants. Yeah.
And because it's processed by the cows, it's available in the cows. Because if we ate the grass and we had the digestive system of a cow, it would be bioavailable in us, and then somebody would come and kill us. You know what I'm saying?
Lions or something, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, go for the 7 livers or something.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they have 4 hearts.
4 stomachs or something.
4 stomachs or 4 hearts?
4 stomachs.
I got to stop relying on Google. I'm just going to trust what you say. 4 stomachs it is.
Yeah.
You probably know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I've always been able to remember these really random facts. Like,
yeah, you got an awesome fucking memory. I love your mind, man. It's so cool.
Thank you.
I like that you've that you're attracted to information.
Yeah.
Because that was a really late thing for me. I mean, I've always been kind of like curious and always wanted to learn things, and I've always been that way. But with like philosophy, stoicism, all that kind of like jazz, that good stuff.
Yeah.
That came later in life. That came after a lot of struggle, and obviously so. You know?
Maybe it needed to come after the struggle.
Oh, it definitely did.
Look, my favorite. I invented this quote. Okay.
Okay. Malik.
Wait, hold on. I need to remember it. What was it? Damn. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna talk about it then. But essentially, the idea was that when life is good, then you don't need to think about the deep questions of life. Everyone becomes a philosopher when they suffer. Well, because they start thinking about, what does my life mean? What are the values that control it, and so on.
You don't have the philosophical questions because they're already answered in front of you.
You don't need them. Life's good. When life's good, you don't need to know about things. But normally, if you have, a not really good set of values, or something's going on, let's say, not mentally in the brain sense, but like the way you're viewing things is wrong, that's going to manifest as an issue. And when it does, you need to start shifting things around in your way of thinking to fix that. And this is why, people who suffer, in my opinion, will get attracted to philosophy in the form of philosophy or in the form of psychology, right? But yeah, I think when I mean philosophy, I don't mean like metaphysics or like, are we in a simulation? I mean more like, what is this? Like, you know, why are we here and this and that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big questions. So, dude, you brought a candle for me.
I did. I make candles, man.
Dude. The company is like one of my favorite candle companies now. Icarus.
Yeah.
So, where'd you get that fucking name from?
All right, I'll explain the story to you. So, okay, Icarus is a Greek mythology.
Obviously.
Yeah, Icarus and his father were trapped on the island of Crete, or I think Crete or something. And so the idea is that these are candles, and Icarus flew too close to the sun, and the story goes the wax in his wings melted. Yeah,
correct.
Hence the connection with candles. And so the wax that
I love that.
Yeah,
I just realized it was wax. Oh, that's so cool, man.
Yeah, the melted wax of Icarus. Yeah,
well done.
There you go.
That's
so
awesome.
I'll show you the camera. This is Hercules holding up the world.
Oh my god, bro.
Yeah. And it has a little quote inscribed in it, and you have to buy the candles to know the quote.
So dope, dude.
Yeah, thank you. So
whoa.
I went pretty hard on this one.
So how long would a candle like that take to make?
Ooh, so you have to make the mold,
right?
And all of that, and then before you can make the mold, you have to make the design. And it's difficult to say, but pouring the candle doesn't take long. You can pop a couple out in a day.
Right. Is that like a 3D print kind of
yes.
thing?
Yes. So I'm going to move on to just handheld. Just sculpting.
Wax.
Yeah. No. Clay, and then making the designs out of that. That was always the idea.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Well, I was sculpting them in during COVID lockdowns.
So how do you Can you? I don't want to give away your secrets or anything, but like, how do you go from like sculpting on clay to having a wax candle?
Yeah, so you use a mold solution, which is normally made of latex or a silicone combination, something like that.
Yeah, like a fleshlight or something.
Essentially what the same stuff is made of, but more firmer, right?
Yeah. A better one than nice.
Yeah. But yeah, it's that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what you do. You get this sculpture, and I was sculpting in COVID lockdowns, and I was like, it was like therapy. And I was like staring at it. I was like, surely if I could like put this in some solution, then I could pour wax in and make a candle. But I didn't know the properties of candle wax, so I thought maybe not. So I went down the rabbit hole of candles, and so it can be done, and it is done. So I set out to do it. But before
Did you have any guidance on that?
No, I did everything myself, literally everything.
Like
a lot of the things I didn't even look up.
YouTube videos and stuff?
Sometimes not even that. I just use my own intuition, genuinely. Not even lying. Yeah, I just thought you probably would do it this way, and then I would test it and it worked. It was
awesome.
pretty. That's pretty so innovative. Not gonna lie.
Cool, bro.
Yeah.
I love when that shit happens, man. That's why I do the music, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. This is the David. I'll get the David out. But yeah, it's a combination of research and just using my noggin. Yeah, and there's all the areas you have to cut the mold in a certain way, so as to so you can extract the candle well, right? There's a lot to it, and it was very frustrating.
So you use one mold per candle?
Yeah. So you have to create multiple candle molds. I got a decent amount, and I have to create more.
So with every candle that you make, are you like literally destroy? Oh my god! Look at that.
Is it David there?
That is literally a David.
Yeah.
You would feel bad to light that motherfucker on fire.
This is what everyone reports to me, and I love it. Right. I like that people don't want to burn them. Right?
Yeah.
It kind of gets destroyed if you burn it, and I like I prefer it if people don't burn them, but you can. I do it so that you can burn them if you want. You just have to put it in a
I
bowl
will burn them because I will buy more off you.
Oh man, that's what I like to hear. I got a lot more ideas coming. The ideas exploded first.
For sure.
And I had to tame.
I'll buy two so I can keep one and I'll burn one.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. But what was I yapping on about? Oh, the candles.
It's a podcast, bro. We forget shit every time.
Yeah, dude.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, go on.
So when you were like thinking about like doing the sculpts, when you cut them off
Yeah, you gotta like
And do they get destroyed every time?
No. They last forever, not forever, but a long time. Yeah.
Okay, righto. So you're not destroying them and then having to build another
It'd be
one.
so expensive.
That's what I was thinking in my head. I was like, oh my god, what is the resources on this? Sure, we
No,
can get that.
but you can mess it. That's the thing. You can mess it up very easily, very
like
quickly.
slicing a mold wrong,
Slicing them, air bubbles. It sets very quickly. This is an issue.
Do you use like a vibration table or something like that? So
you can.
like
I don't.
gets all the bubbles out of it?
Yeah, you can, but I don't 'cause I can't afford one. But I can now. But when I started out, I just did it, tape and hammers and, out in the backyard.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's kind of, if you can use your manpower or you could put like a pillow.
Jesus. Yeah.
We'll cancel that part out. It's all
No, but okay, how did I do it? Yeah, you just got to trial and error. See, like a lot of the whole process, it seems simple, and then you try it, and then there's like, this is why a lot of people try it and then give up. And why, it hasn't been done for a lot because it's very tricky. But I don't know, I'm kind of willing to do it because it's fun. I like it. Yeah.
Dude, so like you doing that and real ones though?
Yeah, so okay, for people who don't know.
Yeah. Sorry, bro.
Running a clothing brand as well with two lovely other individuals, Raj and Calvin.
Roselle.
And Roselle is an artist doing some
I
good
already
work.
had him on the podcast.
Yeah, he's been on.
He's so
Go
good.
check out the podcast, episode 4?
3?
3.
3?
I thought it was 4. Okay, it could be 3.
No, 4. No.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
One of those podcasts. Check them both out.
Yeah, check
3
them
and
both
4.
out. Fuck it. Yeah. That's how bad my memory is. I've done so many. I've banked I don't even say how many, but
Yeah. But it's been great. We're doing design. Oh, this is what I got on at the moment. Real One shirt, represent. We're really kicking it off. We're getting in touch with, creators such as yourself, artists, managers, photographers, and so on. The whole, idea behind Real Ones is that there's kind of a leap of faith. If you want to do anything artistic or creative, it's probably in other countries, but definitely in Australia. Okay. Everyone's very go get a decent, stable job and so on. And if you're creative or an artist or something, there's going to be a point where you have to, say, you can't go half in and half out. We just got to go all in. And I think that kind of leap of faith is really admirable. So I like shining a spotlight on people. It's a very non-self-serving brand. Like personally, it's not really like we want to create something awesome for people, really nice shirts and so on. We have some awesome designs. But it's also about...
I love your designs.
Thank you.
And they are so good.
Thank you.
Like that
I've got
one...
more as well. So,
do you?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm still designing them, yeah.
Oh, man. Because that first one that I had that just had the real ones on the back, and I was like eyeing off the Matchbox one. I was like, dude, should I get one of these motherfuckers?
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. So when's the next line coming out?
We're going to go hard on what we have at the moment and then bring it straight out.
What have you got out at the moment?
So we got the Matchbox one. We have the this one, and we have one called the newest one, Fear No God, and that's I think it has Apollo on the back, and it looks really cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
you like that one, I think.
I fuck with that.
But we got those are 3 designs. We have like 9 to 15.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that I've been itching to get out. So we're gonna go hard on it. It's gonna be great.
Well, what we'll do, we'll link up the Real One's website. Last time on the podcast, you guys didn't have the website up, so you guys do now. So
website, by the time people listen to this, will be up for sure. We're ready to go. Yeah,
gangster. So we'll link that up and people can buy that shirt that you're wearing now.
Yep. This is called Start with Staple.
Yeah, Start with Staple, and then you've got the Matchbox and
the Matchbox design, which is called Burn After Reading, and the Fear No God. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I can't wait for the next ones to come out too.
Yeah.
Calvin did show me a couple of designs that you've been working on, and I was like, what the hell? Like, as if that's going on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna change the game, brother.
Thank you.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's just different. I like different shit.
So do I.
Fuck it.
Yeah, that's what we want to promote, right?
Exactly, man. Fucking just do what you like. I think so many people get like caught up in their shit. you know, just like the shit of life, bills, just ongoing struggles and all that kind of stuff, man.
Absolutely.
It's good just to pull back.
Yeah.
Even if it's self-fulfilling,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Just do something that fulfills you. Because if you have a good afternoon, you might have a good evening. And if you have a good evening, you might wake up happy. And if you wake up happy, you might go to work happy. And if you go to work happy, you fucking make everyone day great.
That's it. Momentum.
It's momentum. It's literally, it just carries on. And if you're literally stuck in one spot, it's very hard to move because you think you're anchored down. And
that's something someone mentioned recently. It's very true about motivation. And it's like motivation isn't just kind of blessed upon you, it's created. And it's like as soon as you do something you know you should do and you do it again, bang, you got momentum.
Motivation isn't blessed upon you, it is created.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Who said that?
Me, just then.
Holy fuck, Malik.
Yeah.
Dude, you've got the most introspective fucking mind I've ever heard from anybody I've ever met.
Oh, Jesus. Thank you.
God damn, son. Anyway, go into that though.
Yeah, so we kind of like, you know when you're like, oh man, I don't really want to do this. And then it's like, I'm not feeling it. And when you are feeling it, when like you feel really motivated, it's like awesome. And it's like this idea that, you know, you're motivated some days and you're not motivated.
It's like the gym, right?
Gym is a perfect example. But that motivation is created. And there was a bit of science I had explained to me as well about dopamine. So when you achieve something, your dopamine levels goes up. And that feeling of like, is the thing that springboards you into the next thing, right? And but there's a lot of things that get in people's way. The biggest one is shame, right? Because if you have something that you want to do, you create an expectation, and when you don't live up to that expectation, you shame yourself. Then you have the momentum in the opposite direction, where you don't do something, then you feel bad for not doing something, but now you're feeling bad because you're feeling bad and this and that, right? So you have the momentum in the other way as well.
I
And you
never
can
looked at
spiral
it
out of
like
control.
momentum in the opposite direction. I never looked at it like that. It's like when you're pushing who pushes the ball up the hill?
Sisyphus.
Sisyphus.
Yeah.
It's almost like he got tired and then it's rolling back on him. You know, it's the negative rollback.
Yeah.
And you're stuck in that cycle of just holding it and you can't go anywhere until you get motivated enough to push that motherfucker back up the hill.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's, motivation is a big thing. Spiraling out of control happens to me when I'm indoors too long, right? If I'm like in my house too long, I need to get out. I'm facing the fact that I'm actually an extrovert, not an introvert. I thought it was an introvert. I'm not. I need to be out and I need to be talking to people like every day.
Yeah. That whole loner ideology, you know, that I don't need to talk to anybody, man.
Yeah.
Dude, that literally, like, Joe Rogan says that best, actually. He had a comedy special back in 2007. And he went into that like, it was like, like, shut the fuck up, man. You know, like, you don't need to be saying that you're a loner. I'm going to butcher the joke, so I'm not going to do it. But he basically went into saying you don't need to say that you're a loner because the worst thing that you can do to someone in jail is put them in a cage by themselves, solitary confinement. And he said, like, murderers and rapists and pedophiles and all that are in jail. And the worst thing that you could do is put someone in solitary confinement.
Yeah. As I said before, there's a massive link between, you know, your physical body and loneliness, right? Like cancer, just the general function of your body. There's longevity.
Almost, right? It's like a magnetism, right? Because like there's almost an electromagnetic field that we give off when you touch a loved one. You feel that sensation of like really like a warm feeling. You get a tingle up your arm. Like it's not a literal tingle up your arm,
exactly,
but it's a tingle, you know?
So this is what I mean by playing the game of life, so to speak. We as human beings, we have rules, right? Rules are you have to eat. And one of the rules is you have to have a community and you have to be involved in it and you have to talk to friends and you have to talk to your family, right?
If you don't do that, man,
to not do it is to not be a human.
You lose yourself.
Yeah, is to try to be something other than what you are. Like believe me, I've been the like, what's it called? like in my dark room loner boy. Not really loner, but like
Dude, I grew up as a metalhead thinking everyone
Yeah.
hated me. I think it comes naturally as males growing up because we go through this stage of, you know, we know we've got our friends, we got like school and all that kind of stuff, and then we just start getting random boners. You know, everything starts getting crazy. We start getting aggressive.
Yeah.
You know, like primal sets in.
Yeah. This is something crazy I learned that, and I genuinely think it's true, that let's say if you have students or something and they go into the doctor and it's, doctor, I have depression, right? And they do have depression. They have the symptoms and so on, and life is very gloomy. There are a portion of people who are depressed where all the doctor has to say is go outside and get some sunlight and their depression goes away.
Right.
And this is true because it happened with me, right? So like I was really, what would you say? I don't know. It's interesting, the interplay between your state of mind. So your philosophy about life and you being depressed or not depressed. And I always thought that the way I was thinking about the world made me kind of sad and nihilistic and depressed about it. And then I realized it was the other way around. That the sadness and depression created a negative view of the world. It was the other way around.
So you were the syntax was wrong.
Yeah, so
you were deciding to be upset.
So I was trying to solve my depressive state by changing my view of the world, which is a good thing to learn to do.
Right.
But my issue was it was the other way around. I had to not get out of my depressive state, and then my view of the world changed. It's kind of like yeah, so anyway, what that involved for me was my sleep schedule was out of whack. This isn't for everyone, by the way. I'm not saying every single person who has a negative state of mind, get outside and get some sunlight. Absolutely not.
But definitely
there is a portion. There's a percentage.
If you're a positive or negative person, get out there. 100%.
So vitamin D deficiency, right, is nuts. Mm-hmm. It
runs rampant.
Yeah. It is like, it affects your mind. Yeah, a doctor told me this, that like, look, I have students coming into my practice. All I have to do is say, get some sunlight, and get a decent sleep schedule, eat proper food, take some supplements that might lightly boost your energy, nootropics and so on, and go outside into the sunlight. And you're good, right? He didn't say it like that, but and that's pretty much what I did. And I wasn't depressed. I was in a depressive state, and look, your view of the world itself changes. You don't become nihilistic. Oh, everyone's bad and this and that.
Just before you go on, though, can we just like highlight that you're not depressed? It's a depressive state. For the people that have been diagnosed as depressed and have actually gone to see a specialist, don't get diagnosed as depressed from your GP. Yeah. If you do, please understand that you can have further information. I'm not giving out medical advice or anything like that. That's not what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm basically just saying, if you think that you are depressed and you've been like that for a while, it's not just because of a situation or a struggle that you're going through. Go and seek a specialist's advice. Don't go, like, we'll go to a general practitioner, but don't just take the first drug that they offer you.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, depression is a thing that you can never say absolutes about. Some people try and do, and I think it's very 100%. Irresponsible. It doesn't exist and all that nonsense.
Yeah, well, people are neglecting like exercise, healthy diet, fresh air.
Yeah, it's complicated.
Socialism.
Absolutely.
Socialism.
Social life, yeah.
Yeah, social life, sorry.
That's true. That's one of the big things is that like isolation, right, does not help your state of mind, right? I'm not going to say it creates depression, but it affects your state of mind in a negative way if you're lonely. We know this on a very deep level. So, and it goes in hand with diet. It goes hand in hand with, are you drinking enough water? Are you getting are you deficient in iron? Are you deficient in vitamin D? And it's very amazing how we're just kind of like robots, where like, if something a little bit isn't out of order, you just kind of make sure, go and do an oil change and a service, right? Which is like, make sure everything's functioning right. make sure you're eating, sleeping, and doing everything right, and then your mental state, gets alleviated. We often have this view of the mind and body as these completely separate things. Like the way I think about things is, there's a lot of research into gut health and how your gut can influence and intertwines with depression. It's nuts.
I've actually had this same conversation 3 times in the last 24 hours.
There we go.
Yes, and they've all said the same thing.
Yeah,
and the information is true. Mm-hmm. If you're having negative reactions to your food, you get an inflammation response within your body, and that normally comes as joint pain, back pain, psoriasis, any kind of ailment.
Yeah,
it can show up as anything. It can show up as alopecia.
Yeah,
right. But so when you take that, there's I think it's a double-blind study. I'll look it up. On when you take probiotics, I think it's like a 20 to 30% more happy because of the bifidobacteria and the lactobacillus bacteria is fed or something like that.
Yeah.
Because they have a specific requirement diet, and if they are if you've got bacteria that's been giving you because it's like a bacteria consumption for. Dude, I'm gonna butcher this. I know I am, but I'm pretty sure you have certain bacteria in your stomach because inside of your intestines and that those nutrients that are drawn into your body. Those bacteria are there to digest them, right? To process them through. Without those bacteria there, I think it's a 60 to 90 day period. Without those bacteria being fed, they die off. Yeah. That means when you take an antibiotic, you're killing off parts of your personality. If what you're saying is that statement before was true, that your stomach biology or biome, is connected to your personality traits.
Yeah. You just triggered a thought in me as well about even stress responses. It's crazy how with say cold therapy, cold showers and all of that,
Hormesis.
And hot therapy, heat therapy as well, saunas and all that, they create certain stresses in your body that unlock sounds like bro science, but it's 100%
heat
true.
shock proteins.
Yeah, heat shock proteins. It unlocks parts of you when your body responds to stress, all kinds of stress. You're using, you're actually activating parts of your DNA that haven't been activated. So, some people like to think you're actually becoming a new person every time you face stress, which is nuts. I like that a lot.
That's actually awesome. An awesome way to think about that.
Yeah, it's a great way of looking at suffering is that you become a different thing every time you go through something.
Yeah.
Right.
I think all too often, man, we have this understanding that thinking that comfort is going to be the best thing for us. That's why, in retirement, we have the ideology of sitting on the beach and whatnot.
No, I'm very much against. I have a irrational viciousness against comfort.
I have a fear of comfort.
Yeah, I don't like it. I go through. This sounds arrogant. I go through or pretentious. I don't know. But if I'm in a neighborhood that's really rich, I'll be like, nah, I don't think I could do it. I don't know. I like the idea that money is spent on action as opposed to pleasurable life.
Yeah, okay.
It's good. There's a balance.
Did you watch the podcast?
Yeah, I saw the clip, and it's the same thing. When I saw that, I'm like, yes,
that's exactly
it. I agree.
His thinking is spot on with that, right?
Yeah, because money is potential, and I think that potential should be spent on. It should be sitting in just to accumulate. Yeah, I don't know.
And then we talked over each other just there, but it was the Mr. Beast clip from Joe Rogan's podcast.
That was great.
Podcast. That was a new word. Podcast.
Yeah, maybe it should be a word.
Yeah, I think it can be.
Yeah. Go on.
So, reverting back to because this all comes from core values. This is where that introspective chat came from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your Real Ones company, because when I first asked Calvin about it, he gave me a really detailed, great answer. I love Calvin and how beautifully his mind works.
Yeah.
I want to know when you started it, what was your thing? Where did you see it going?
Started as...
Where did you see it going, but not physically? Like, because there's like a cultural thing about you, right? You just like breathe culture.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can see that permeating through a lot of the things that you do, obviously with Icarus and Real Ones.
It's a good question.
How are you seeing that?
So let's refine it a bit. So where did I see it being in its end stage?
Well, I don't think there is an end stage. I think, what did you want it to attain?
Okay.
What did you want it to become?
Yeah. So it changes over time, but I think it can be, again, it goes back to the values. I think that it is valuable. It's a valuable quality for people to double down on their talents and their creative expression as opposed to conforming to the norm, right? And society has this habit of condemning, or at least looking down on people who decide to go in a creative route, right? But they reap the benefits of the creativity of their society. They listen to the music, the movies and so on. People will happily watch a movie, but there is like a guy, in the making of that movie who probably just like, if it's the Avengers, who spent 300 hours or whatever like editing the eyelashes on Thanos, right? And it's like there's so much that goes into these grand movies, right? And it's like,
I wouldn't even thought of that.
Yeah, well, it's true. Yeah, like I'm a fan of like 3D modeling. I want to get into it one day, but
obviously with the candle making and your graphic design.
Yeah. Well, I do it. I had to do it a bit for this candle, stitching together pre-existing.
By the way,
models.
can you show the boxes on the camera too?
I can do.
Those are crazy. Did you?
You
did the stamps on those?
Yeah, I did the stamps. I created a little.
My damn. So do you do the boxes yourself?
Yep.
Man, I love little
Perth-based
companies like that. Yeah, Perth-based company
who produce the boxes, Malaga stamps.
Beautiful.
Took me a while to come up with, and I thought, something that looks, it's cheap and affordable, but it's also like rustic and authentic, right?
Yeah. And you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, thank you.
I like how you've got the is it straw or paper?
Yeah, it's a wood wool. Yeah,
wood wool.
Yeah,
lovely. It looks awesome.
Thank you. But on the Thanos eyelashes, right? So so like some individual, could be a student or an intern or an employee, had to tell his community circle like, oh, I want to go into like 3D modeling and art and so on, maybe do some freelance work. And then people say there isn't, but there is this judgment on people to become a musician, become an artist, do anything in the area of creativity. You go to university, the arts are ridiculed, and anything that is in a STEM or in the field of a business is kind of like seen as superior. And it's
how dare you not put your service towards our company?
Yeah. I feel like it's a lovely bit of social conditioning to make us look down on anything that can't make some big corporation money. Anyway, but
we'll leave that one alone.
Yeah, we will. Next podcast, the capitalist podcast. Anyway.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Let's do it. Fuck him.
Yeah. But
don't worry. No, I'm not against capitalism.
Me neither. It's good stuff.
I'm not.
It's great stuff. But no. But it's like that. It's like people going against the norm is kind of frowned down upon. Like I know a guy. Shout out to him. His name's Connor Levy, and
shout out.
Oh
Connor.
Damn! Maybe I shouldn't get. But he's in a band, and I think we had a chat once. It was just a brief chat, but he was talking about his parents' expectations and this and that, and or community's expectations.
Are you okay to say this on the podcast?
Yeah, I'll start it again, shall I?
Oh, well, no, as long as he's cool, yeah.
Yeah, probably. He's a really awesome dude.
Okay,
and yeah, it's all positive stuff. It's pretty much.
Oh, okay. If it's positive, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just as long as you're not fucking like, shunning somebody.
No. But it's just pretty much, I don't know. I admire him. And
oh, no, that's cool then, man.
Yeah, it's just university students or people who I went to university with, and they know what I'm talking about, where there's this leap of faith between going off to doing medicine or going off to doing what's it called? And it's not a condemning. I have a friend, very close friend, who was doing something else, and he decided I wanted to go do medicine, and I'm helping out with these GAMSAT and stuff like that with essay construction. And so it's the opposite. It's not about like STEM and business isn't bad, but society kind of is this asymmetry between how we look at, you know, people who want to go creative route. And I think that people who do that, you know, ought to be, you know, focused on. So that's what the idea of Real Ones is that we're about the growing of Perth culture in this form of art, music, entertainment, so on, photographers.
Applicable, what kind of word is that? With application, how are you applying that though?
So in terms of
being a clothing company,
yep.
Being a clothing company, how are you applying it practically with all these values?
Mm-hmm. So think of it like this. So we have the brand, and then we have it's the other way around. We have the clothing side of it, and then we have the brand. So the brand is the overall encompassing values, and it take the form of us doing, you know, interviews and so on, doing spotlight on creators and helping them share their content and so on, right? It doesn't have ambitions that are really self-serving. It's more about we got people in our circle that, you know, we know who we care about. Like we want to see, you know, the photographers and so on do well, and you know, Calvin do well and so on, and so it's about pushing them up. It is ideally it should be a hub where people can kind of follow our page, and then, you know, keep up to date on all the awesome things that are happening in Perth, right?
As a collective of Perth, or just the Real Ones clan?
Oh no! Yeah, anyone. We want to grow.
That's what I was thinking. I thought you guys are keeping it within the same hub kind of thing.
We are not cliquey over here. Right? I want to see it all.
Beautiful, right? Beautiful.
We're all the hidden, awesome artists that are in Perth. Yeah. Like I remember we did like a video photo shoot / thing, and we went over to this like person's little studio, and it was like an antique store, but it wasn't. It was like an art thing. It was the most nuts thing I've ever seen. And it's like, how is this hidden away in this random apartment complex, right? We know photographers that are like super skilled. We know, you know, artist managers. We can help link people up and so on, right? Mm-hmm. For the average follower, that's what it is for the artists and the creatives. For the average follower, well, you get to see that in its, you know, the best form that we can show it in, right? We kind of want the followers and the people who are discovering Real Ones to be a part of it, to see like us grow, to see other artists grow and so on. Right. And so it's kind of like a
So how can they be a part of it?
So at the beginning stages, we want to support artists and then their fan bases as well. So by linking them to...
Are you guys putting on shows and stuff like that?
In the long run.
Oh, okay, right.
In long, hopefully, that'd be great. We have no plans for it.
I know that you guys have the clothing. I just want to clarify so people understand what Real Ones is. Yeah. I know what it is, but I just want everybody else to know. That's why I'm going into this. Mm-hmm. Real Ones is a clothing brand, but you guys are all driven in the music industry. Yeah. It's a hip-hop based cultural brand.
Yeah, but we're branching out from that as well.
Exactly, right. You guys have your T-shirt designs. You guys have put on live shows so far?
No, we have not. We want to do that soon, but yeah.
But you guys have hosted events though, right?
Not yet, no.
What was
you're thinking of platform?
Oh, platform.
Yeah, okay. Which it looks similar to us.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was cool.
Right.
Yeah, that was very cool. That was pretty much for me. For me, a big inspiration for Real Ones. That was about here are Perth artists in the scene. Like, yeah, that's what we want to grow to. But we're a clothing brand at the moment. So the idea is like to support, you know, the growth of Perth art. Come along for the ride, you know, check out, you know, updates on, you know, new artists on the scene or established artists and so on. There's some really awesome people who, you know, are going to be doing some big things. Calvin, Perry P. Yeah. Yeah. So like we want to show you that, right? And it kind of doesn't get seen. It doesn't really get acknowledged too much. So that's the idea. So it's like the Instagram, hopefully we're making it into more of a magazine type, a digital magazine type thing. And we are a clothing brand. So, you know, support us and support Perth artists and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
That's exactly kind of the same. I don't have the same outlook on like, because I don't think I'm trying to hit the clothing side of things. Obviously, I'm not a clothing brand.
Yeah, you have a pretty sick brand though.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Which one?
Yeah, there you go. That's a good answer to have to that.
Yeah. Yeah. So having the studio, having the podcast, having my management brand, it's like I could go deeper into it. I could have, if I wanted to, I could reignite my kombucha company again.
Oh yeah.
I could and I think I will eventually, but I want it to be different this time around. You know, I want to do things that are going to spark like something in me that when I first had it, I was so creative and happy in that moment. And I find I'm in that moment every single day now with music and podcasting and talking and having that community that you talked about earlier, right? That's been the big kicker for me, has been like, oh shit, I actually do need people. I do need to talk to people. And sure, it is good having, when you're home alone, right? It is good having some time by yourself. You get to chill out, especially if you're getting rode by a boss all day who's just a piece of shit. He's having trouble at home and he's just taking it out on you, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, I don't have that, luckily enough.
Me neither.
But people that do, they tend to be like everywhere. There's lots of them, you know, and like not every day is a good interaction at work. So when you're interacting with people and you're going about your day like as you go with this philosophical fucking mind of yours that you've got, how are you approaching your love life, sir?
Interesting. I knew you bring this up.
I've been bringing it up a lot more recently. Because
it's interesting. Who doesn't like hearing about people's love lives?
Well, no, I want to know, because you've got a really deep mind. Man. I want to know like how you think about things, because like I've met someone recently and I've you know, like it is what it is. But like you know, fucking I'm seeing my old patterns and stuff, and this is the manhood thing that we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
I see how I used to act. It used to be in a way that it was without consequence. Impunity. I would act with impunity. It wasn't like I was worried about, hey, this might affect this person in the future, this might affect da-da-da-da in the future. It was just solely, how is this affecting me right now?
Interesting. See, we have very different experiences.
Oh, right.
Yeah. See, I'm the exact opposite end of that spectrum in terms of overthinking about the consequences. Yeah. So
you underthink?
No, overthinking about the consequences.
Oh, so you overthink and then on your own end. Because what I do,
both ends,
I put it all back on myself, and you put it all back on the relationship, or
so. Were you saying about how you were kind of acting without consequence, right?
Yeah.
I would say that I would act or not act based on fear of consequence. Oh, that sounds bad though. I don't mean it in the way that it sounds. It's more like I overthought a lot. It's interesting about the whole love life thing. I think I can only speak from the experience of being a young man. And it's an interesting topic, let's say about that.
Yeah.
It goes back to values again.
Have you had many deep and meaningful relationships so far in your life with females?
Deep and meaningful, yes. Many deep and meaningful, no.
I don't mean many, but has your life been rich with them,
Oh, yes and no.
Right.
It's been complicated. Especially the last 2 years have been not good. I had a couple of hammer blows, let's say, in 2020.
Shout out, Hammer.
Yeah. So I say to my friends, is like, surely this isn't normal, right? Like sometimes things just go bad. Man, sucks. But then it just happened again and again and again and again. And then here's a point where it's like, come on.
Is it a hammer blow in that so you said that you had fear of the consequence, right?
That wasn't, okay.
Was that
I'll state
wrong
my
statement?
Yeah, kind
Okay,
of. It was it's a smaller part than what I was really thinking about.
It's
I
fine.
think
It's fine.
that as a young male, there is a huge transition or question about how valuable is a relationship. And I think, in my opinion, biology plays a role in making it very significant to us. And
I was literally thinking about this on the drive home today.
there we go. Yeah. Yeah, and we have to, I think that we kind of get, in my opinion, duped a bit in terms of, you know, I know a lot of, you know, most of my friends probably are male. I have a lot of female friends, but most of my friends are male. And we have a similar experience in like when we were younger, you know, like the 16, 17, 18, 19 is like, man, got to get a girlfriend, right? Oof. And then that is just the pinnacle.
Social
it's like
pressure.
Yeah. Oh, not even that, even your own pressure as well. It's like you think it's like the most valuable thing. And
because comparably, the people that are having sex in high school, they were like, oh my God, man, they must be so mature. You know, but I remember being in year 8 and that you would see like people that are like 3 years older than you and like 3 foot taller than you holding hands, you know, like and the kissing and stuff, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
How crazy is that? Just for 1 second, when you were like in like year 8, a year 12 was like a 40-year-old guy with a mortgage, right? It was like
why is that dude got a beard, bro?
Yeah, that's it. And then you look back, like I look at a 17-year-old or 18-year-old as like a fetus.
Yeah, man, those fucking kids when you're 12 or 13, man. Like, you're not a person yet, bro. Yeah. Like, you're a kid.
Yeah, that makes me think how much I'm not, like, if that's that thing about age I wanted to chat. We'll chat about that in a hot minute, right?
Okay, let's go.
But, yeah, do you have any more questions about the whole love thing?
Yeah. Are you
no.
seeing anyone? No? You got your eyes on a nice little gal, hey?
No.
Oh, okay, why?
There's no real set answer. The answer kind of changes. It's either okay. I feel like I have an answer for right now, but the answer for right now is not representative of the answer in its entirety. Like right now, I'm super busy, so I'm like I haven't been out yet. I'm going to be going out a lot soon. I haven't been out a lot. I've just been hermit mode, kind of. Like I still go out a lot. I go to Jacob's Ladder. Like every day I'll go out somewhere and do something. But I've been hyper focused on it. But I haven't been involved in like a community. And so even with my friends, I've talked to them a lot less recently as well. So temporarily, not I'm cutting them off, but I do like cutting people off. It's very fun.
I do it.
And they don't know they've been cut off. It's good fun. Anyway, now this sounds bad. Anyway. But
no, it's good to do it if that person is taking your energy away.
Yeah, if it's deserved. Yeah, 100%. It's a skill. Some people cannot do it.
You can do it passively. You don't need to be I'm not talking to you about it. I'm telling anybody. Like I do it myself personally. I've realized when I was younger, I would have reactions to people and I would want them to know I didn't like them, you know, but now I don't want them to know that I don't like them. I don't want them to know I exist. I'd rather just operate with them not knowing or even thinking about me.
You want to know the most like evil, sadistic thing I think I'll say on the podcast today? The best way, if you know, I do not advocate for this because it's toxic, right? But it is just
about to lay some.
No, well, this is an observation that is true.
Stuff, yeah.
No, but like the more subtly you cut someone off, the more it hurts them.
Yes, of course.
If you scream, this is the same thing with like if you let's say if you go, oh my God, I hate you, and they're just like listening, like, oh my God, they know that you're in the heat of the moment. But if you just be like level with you, I don't like you, man. Like, you know it's genuine. It hurts them all. I've never done that, by the way. But I'm just saying.
I felt that just then, and it wasn't happening.
Yeah. The more, like, people have it wrong around. More subtly. If you just, like, calmly walk away from it, it hurts them more. Not that I think you should hurt them. But it's just it's a weird thing that happens. It's like when people have, like, quietly left in the night with me, it hurt more than when they were, like, angry.
So, what is your... But I've got to check this camera. I bet it's off.
Is it?
Actually, what we're going to do is we'll go for a pause and we'll go toilet break and stuff.
Okay.
And we'll come back in a second.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm chill.
Sweet. And we are back. We are back.
We're back.
Hey, man.
How's it going?
All right. So we were having chats just then.
Deep chats.
Should have saved it for the pod.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, dude, so you were saying, like, just before, we were talking about relationships and stuff. And in the break, I brought up a saying that I heard on, I think it was Joe Rogan's podcast. I'm going to quote him a lot because I like him.
Yeah.
And he says really good shit. He is a philosopher of our day, so as well. Have you heard some of his quotes?
Joe Rogan's?
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
Here's one of them. The hardest thing that you've ever been through is the hardest thing that you've ever been through. And he got that quote from somebody else, but he's the filter that's got it to me. So that's pretty much it. And that came from a story from a girl named Yanomi Park. And she was a survivor from, a refugee from North Korea. And horrific story. Absolutely horrific story. She saw a young boy begging for money with his intestines hanging out of his back, being eaten by rats. And she's gone through some like severe things like sex trafficking and stuff like that to obviously get out of North Korea. And she said to Joe Rogan that, like, in a sick way, one of the sex traffickers that actually let her go was in love with her. And it was a strange thing because she said it in a very emotionless way, and I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? And that really made me go, oh damn, because like the hardest thing that you've ever been through is the hardest thing that you've ever been through. And she's been through way harder things than just seeing a boy with his intestines hanging out of his back. And it's like, wow, even in relationship standards, it's even different, you know? Yeah, so you've gone through a pretty bad relationship breakup in the past couple of years, sorry.
Yeah.
Not recently. When you had that split, you didn't take it in the right way. You've said you were reflecting on it recently and, well, just now. And it's been a negative outlook.
Yeah.
I'm just going to fuck with that camera real quick.
Yeah, no worries.
You can go.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's, I don't want to say fun, but you can indulge in thinking about the worst case scenario. Or like indulge in thinking about, or wanting to think like the worst case about things. And indulge is really the key word, because it kind of, you know, it can in a weird way feel good to feel bad about yourself. But yeah, and it kind of led to me not wanting to challenge these bad thoughts that I had. When I say bad thoughts, I mean like negative portrayals of the situation. Yeah, and yeah. So you really do have to challenge those thoughts, so.
Yeah. So you said that you were actually like carrying some of these patterns ongoing, even like before you said you were busy.
Yeah.
Right. So consciously, have you been busy just so you can escape the thought of like maybe possibly moving on from this and like?
Yeah. Well, like yes, but I wouldn't say moving on. It's more like it feels like it's like the same thing keeps happening again and again and again and again. So it's like I don't want to feed this cycle. I'm gonna just chill for a bit, go monk mode.
You know that can actually bring on the cycle.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. It's I never said it's healthy, but yeah.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just yeah, it's interesting.
So the reason as to why I brought that up is because like I've been through some like changes as well. with the way that I thought about relationships and the way that I conduct myself. Even when I was 20 years old, 25 years old, now, as of today, or as of yesterday, 30 years old.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier about, you asked me, do you feel a change in myself as a 30-year-old and holding that maturity within a relationship? I'm consciously aware that I am not as immature as I was when I was a reckless teenager.
Got you.
When I was a young man, like 21, 22, I did some stupid things, which led to some really bad mistakes. People hurt, people cheated on, all the like common traits of a fucking arsehole, just reckless behavior. And it came from because I was trying to be the man. Right? It's like that thing that you were talking about. You're always trying to chase your father kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Until he dies, you can't be a man.
Yeah.
And my father passed away, be class 2 years now, I guess, 2 years ago. And so he was my biological father, and then I grew up with my stepfather. Awesome. I consider that guy my dad. He's the best dude in the world. A guy that can take over a family like that and just like be the leader and not have any like blueprint prior to doing that, and then like succeeding and still being with my mum even now, 20 years later, is just crazy.
Yeah.
24 years later is crazy. So I feel like I'm probably gonna have a big reaction to that quote that when my stepfather passes, but because my real father wasn't in my life for my whole life, when he passed, I did feel like there was a change. Like the idea of him was gone now. So I had free reign to go for it without judgment.
Got you.
But there's always going to be the judgment of my stepfather because I respect that man. And because there's respect there and there's love there because he's the guy that brought me up, you know. I think that big change is obviously and going to come to be more of a man. But what is more of a man? That question in and of itself is almost perpetual.
Yeah.
It will never cease because like we will always blow up what a man is. That's why you see cartoons and Marvel and all that with these ridiculous muscles and super strength. Everyone wants more. It's always more.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. I would outright say that becoming a man where it matters, right? And I don't take this view that manhood is like manliness. It's the adoption of responsibility. It's the transition between being a kid with this thing out there that's looking out for you to the thing that provides protection to kind of, not protection, but everything is on your own back. Okay, I like this short story of growing up. And I don't think, when I say becoming a man, becoming a woman, becoming an adult, right? It's nothing to do with masculinity or femininity per se, right? So Adam and Eve, right? My personal interpretation of Adam and Eve. Do you know the story?
Tell it.
So Adam and Eve were the first man and woman. Not actually the first man and woman. There actually were people before them, but anyway. The first man and woman.
Just in the Bible.
Yeah,
let's clarify that.
Yeah, in the Bible, right. Oh yeah, this is all biblical. This is metaphorical, literal, depending on what you believe. But the story in an interpretive lens is that Adam and Eve were naked, right? And they, lived in harmony, spoke to the animals and so on. And then they ate from, oh damn it, okay, I'm going to butcher it. It's the tree of knowledge of life and whatever. But it's something about the tree of knowledge or the tree of life, or there was two trees anyway. But in my interpretation of it is that when you eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, that's what it was, knowledge of good and evil, right? That is the same statement as becoming responsible for yourself. Knowing what is right and wrong is the definition of becoming a true adult. What happened when Adam and Eve ate of the tree, when they knew what was right and what was wrong, is that they adopted responsibility, which meant that they could be held accountable for their actions, which is why God punished them. And the symbol there for that is when they became aware of their nakedness, right? They became aware of their vulnerabilities and so on.
Because they were punished.
No. So when they ate the fruit, they became aware of their nakedness.
So the fruit was the knowledge.
Mm-hmm. It's the knowledge of good and evil.
So they attained the knowledge of awareness.
Yeah, of what was right and wrong.
Awareness, sorry. Mm-hmm. They attained awareness.
Yep.
And that gave them, and because they stole the fruit, that's why God punished them.
So relating this to growing up, you can't put too much blame on children because they don't know any better. They don't know right and wrong. They don't know what's good and bad fully. They might think they know, and to a certain things that they do know, right? Children know not to kill. Children know not to do certain actions. But yeah, that's right. But my interpretation of it is that before they ate of knowing what is good and evil, they were the equivalent of children. Now, funny, just a quick thing is like, what are one of the main things that happen with men, during puberty to do with the head area or throat area? The Adam's apple. It's the eating of the fruit. When you get an Adam's apple, it's like you're swallowing the fruit of good and evil. You're becoming grown up, right? So it's just
Is that where that comes from?
Adam's apple. Adam's apple.
Is that where that comes from? So that
yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that my interpretation is they had this in mind, but I just think it's very cute little coincidence, right?
Heck, dude.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, but I like it because
even if you came to that interpretation yourself, man, that's fucking awesome.
Oh, thank you.
That's really cool.
But about responsibility. So I think that going into adulthood is going from the mental, and I've felt it before, the mental position of like I always thought, like, if I commit a crime, I'm like, no, I'm just a kid, man. Like, don't go too, I don't want the law to go too hard because I'm just a kid. And then I'm feeling that go away. It's like, now if I commit a crime, not that I'm going to, but like just theoretically, I'm like, I'm not relying on my parents or the state to like go easy on me. I'm a person. And I think it's that transition between like, to what, like, you become the authority in your own life as opposed to, say, the major figures such as parents and I don't know. I think maybe that was the transition you felt.
Yeah, I think, but what happens with a lot of people is they see that word. Mm-hmm. It starts with an R and ends in ility. Mm-hmm. Responsibility.
Yeah.
That is that word in people, that can trigger some very, very scary emotions.
Yeah.
And when it comes out, like that responsibility, if they don't have their stuff in check, oh man, they can be dangerous people.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Yeah.
Very true. Reckless in their mind, reckless with their emotions, and reckless physically. When you're... Yeah, anyway, sorry. I could go on about that.
Yeah. To be like responsible is to be held accountable for your actions, which is, it's very easy to not be held, like it's great when you don't have to be held accountable for your actions.
There's a different weight to like being held accountable for responsibility, right? Mm-hmm. So when somebody feels like responsibility is being thrust on them, right, it's almost like, oh, there's a bit of in society, we kind of have like, oh, he's got like if somebody has like a really high paying job, he's got a lot of responsibility. Mm-hmm. He's almost got like a power to him in the state, right? But if you're talking about a personal responsibility.
That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
Right? Taking charge of your life, doing all the things like exercising, diet, all that kind of shit, bro. Yeah. That kind of stuff, that changes everything.
Yeah.
And like, if you go more introspective with your mind, as you go deeper and deeper into your health, dude, it just flourishes.
Yeah.
It's like a tree, and one branch is dying, and then you like water the tree and you give it fertilizer and just feed it nicely, and it comes to life, and then fruit starts coming from it, and you're like, what the fuck? I didn't even know it was a fruit tree.
Yeah.
You know, like all these fucking things happen in life for a reason, dude. And I'm like, I think we need to close it on that note.
Yeah,
because we're getting too deep, and this wine's hitting me like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Sure. I got one question for you though.
Okay, let's go.
You don't have to answer it.
All right.
Do you fear getting older now that you've turned 30? Do you have that fear? I'm like, damn, my youth is slipping away from me. Or do you think that there is more to life than youth? Because it is for everyone all the time. Like it is for me. It is for a 12-year-old. Everyone's time is slipping away from them.
I think... So last night, I stayed at the Crown Towers, and I was sitting in the window just staring at the city and contemplating life. Did that for about an hour. I came to the conclusion that age is a number. It sets how many days we've lived. Do you remember every single day that you've gone to work?
No.
Do you remember every time that you fell in love?
Yeah.
It's not about the days. It's not about the time. It's not about whether I'm 29 or 30. It's not about whether or not we're youthful or old. It's about how connected we are. What are we striving for? That's what I came to.
Interesting.
And it doesn't matter because the fact that I got to have a celebration for my life, and other people were happy just to be with me, and like the people that I wanted to be with, dude, it filled me up.
That's
it filled
awesome.
me up. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a big thing with a lot of people. I've heard people, oh my God, I've turned 30. And people have different... Yeah, I have a personal thing about like, man, am I still a kid? Or am I like old?
You have to decide.
Yeah, for sure. That is the answer. That's the answer that
you have to let go of the ideology that age matters.
Yeah. True.
It does not. Good night, Malik.
Good night, Jacob.
Wanna fly away with you, float away, fly away.